skip it. See it or skip it. See it or skip it.
Welcome to New See It or Skip It. We're going to be talking about the new Conjuring Last Rites movie. Plus, Hamilton is celebrating its 10-year anniversary by making it to the silver screen. And we've got an Office continuation.
Yeah.
Something that I was very against, but it might actually just have won me over. I'm your host, Patrick Beatty, and of course, I'm here with Kent Dunn.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
And joining us for the first time is our good friend Leo. He has an Instagram, TikTok account, Movies with Leo. How's it going?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about movies with you guys.
We're excited to have you. So the reason that how I stumbled upon you, I guess, is just seeing all of your TikToks, all of your reels of this massive collection of physical media that would make any film critic incredibly jealous, which was the situation in my case.
Isn't it funny? People had these back in the day, but they've just disappeared. And so to see that now, to see that fandom continue, it does make me salivate.
Well, Leo, tell us about this. Why do you think physical media is still important? Why are you collecting these?
I think the whole streaming, I feel like ownership is the big part of it. Definitely how you see movies be on streaming services and then I don't know where just get taken away. It's definitely something that we value. We want it in our collections. We can watch it whenever we want. We don't need to worry about, oh, is this month gonna take it away? You know, there's so many things that come into play, and nostalgia.
Yeah.
I feel like when you go to Blockbuster with your family, you go in there, you search through the movies, and you're kind of like, huh, I want to watch this one today. You kind of...
Yeah, it's like Goonies too. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You're showing more respect to a lot of aspects of filmmaking too. You're looking at posters. You're looking at cover arts. That again, back in the good old days of Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, you went down to find those cool posters.
Yeah.
That's why I was always in the horror section.
Yeah.
But you bring up another great point about ownership, right? One thing that has been coming out in the news recently is that physical media is ownership, but if you buy something online or if you purchase something on VOD, you own it for as long as that company is allowing you to own it. That company could go under and you wouldn't even know what to do with your titles at that point.
And there's a bigger company, like you can talk about Disney. Disney used to do putting the movies back in the vault. And it was harder to find those Blu-rays or DVDs. And even on digital, if you have Fandango at home, when they first started doing the digital copies for, let's say, Aladdin, Lion King, and once it went back to the vault, they took it away from you on the Fandango at home and everything like that. So that was the big part that I was like, I don't want to just have it there, easy access, faster to put it on. I want to have it for me.
So where do you go to buy movies now? Because they are being taken away from Best Buys and other stores.
Yeah, that was the biggest one that hurt the community. Best Buy went away, and we're like, what's going to happen? But Walmart stepped up. You have Amazon. You have so many boutique labels that make amazing sets that bring the collector more to like, oh, I want this poster. I want the book that comes inside with it. And there's reversible art. There's so many things that come with boutique labels that makes us like, oh, we want it, we need it.
Labels. I want to add also Barnes and Noble. Has a lot of Criterion films specifically that you go in and you're just wanting to love those things. But what if it's somebody that's just wanting to start out right now and it's like, okay, where do I even begin? Where I started with my collecting, I don't know if anybody else did this. I guess I'm weird. Pawn stores. Go and find. There's always going to be there's going to be a Pulp Fiction somewhere. There's going to be a Shawshank somewhere. All of those classics that people eventually just give up in their ways. But KSL Classic. I mean, you're looking through the Facebook Marketplace. There's so many options. Do you think that is ever going to go away? Do you think there's a chance that physical media is dying?
I think we're stronger than ever. To be honest, I feel like books are coming back. Vinyls are coming back, and then you have movies. Movies are just something that I think you also see VHS coming back. So movies are an experience that we want to show it to your family for generations after generations. And that's the one thing that why we like to keep it in our collection knowing that no one's going to take it away from us.
How many Blu-rays do you think you have in your collection?
I'm around the 3,000 mark.
3,000 Blu-rays. Not just Blu-rays. I'm assuming DVDs, 4K collections, special editions. What movie do you have the most Blu-rays of? Because that's a real collector right there.
One of my favorite movies is Tremors. I love Tremors. Oh my gosh, I can't say it. practical effects about everything they do on there. It's just amazing. I love the story. I love the acting. So that's my favorite movie, and I have like 7 copies of the same movie.
Oh my!
VHS, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever you want to call it.
I tried to get that justified with my wife, but she was so confused. Like, why do you need a steel book of Big Lebowski? You have the Big Lebowski.
I feel bad when I have Dark Knight on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. I'm like, that's too many. 7 copies.
Yeah.
This was a really good nerd out. This is what I wanted. Thank you.
And I do want to tell you guys, if you guys are going to start collecting, start with your favorite movies. Don't just go crazy and try to buy everything. Start with your favorite movies. And again, pawn shops, thrift stores, those are great places to start. And then if you want to go up higher, that's on you. But everything else,
I love it.
Just start with your favorite movies.
Amazing. Well, let's talk about some movies, because we got the first one out now, The Conjuring: Last Rites. This is the final iteration of The Conjuring.
They say.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, final outing. These two have literally become horror icons. They are now in this classic genre, and I loved the first one.
Yes.
When you see that first poster and then it's rated R only for horror, what does that mean?
I know.
Like, what else could there, like, what type of horror? Am I going to need to be institutionalized after? Like, what am I going to, so this is the 4th iteration. There's been many other spin-offs. We've had a couple Annabelles. We've had all the other things. Kent, what did you think of this?
Listen, this is you have to know and love these characters at this point. You have to be invested with 3 movies of backstory, because this movie says, hey, you love the Warrens. Here's a whole movie about them and their daughter, right? This one really wants to test your patience, but give you good character work, but also you forget it's a horror film.
Leo, what do you think?
I love the story, especially with the character work, getting to know the daughter more, getting to know everything that's going around with her and how she's going to deal with it after they're done. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great time. It was way better than the third one.
Yes.
Way better. I feel
it's
like
the same director that did the third one as well, though.
Yeah.
Which is where I'm about to go against everybody on this. First, did you know that the station was haunted?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's a little bit of a haunting going on here.
That's not good.
I mean, you watch The Conjuring and it's like big deal. Like, go out in my hallway and there's something crazy happening. But this movie, even though I went and watched it, I sat through the entire thing. I don't even know if I've seen the movie. It is completely pitch black through the whole thing, and not even like, I mean, Ghost, can you show me what I'm talking about here?
Oh,
this is exactly what it's like watching The Conjuring: Last Rites.
I'm scared.
You should be. I have no idea what I'm looking at, especially when it comes to the jump scares. Especially when I love that it's still cut to me. Especially the jump scares. Especially when we're focusing on a family when the family we're supposed to be caring about, they kind of have just like pushed to the side. They're not really part of it.
You don't even know them as characters because you can't see them, right? It was so interesting that like you're in homes for most of this movie, and the blinds are closed, and you're like, I get natural lighting. I think it creates scares. You always look in the shadows to see what's happening. But when it's in every scene, you stop caring to look for scares.
Right, and if the settings and the set design is meant to look like a haunted house already, like there's a scene where they're going to get wedding dresses and shopping, and it's like a FBI interrogator put a floodlight in the room where you're supposed to be there, but it's supposed to be fully bright with light. Ghost, lights up.
You can command the ghost. The ghost does whatever you want it to.
I am the ghost whisperer.
Clearly.
But overall, this one was absolutely a skip it for me.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed, only because of the fact that if you can't do the basic necessity of letting me be able to see what is on screen, I understand. Well, TVs have this OLED, true black stuff, and the digital cameras, they're just getting better and better with it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work when you're trying to just see what's happening on the screen.
Yeah, for me, it's a tepid see it, and that feels wrong because it's like a C+ grade, right? This is an average horror film. I didn't hate it in the least. I was just a little confused by the pacing overall. The darkness was annoying, but I thought when there were scares outside of the CG ones, I was like, I like that. That's very Conjuring, right? And so for that, I think it's a good start to spooky season. But yeah, I have my issues with it, and I'll probably forget about it immediately.
Leo, do you think they did the Warrens justice, or do you see this being kind of like maybe one more after?
This is a see it for me. I feel like they definitely stepped it up from the third one. The third one was very forgettable. This one, it will stay in my head for a bit, especially with the scare scenes that they have and everything. But I love the ending. I love how it kind of ends, and hopefully it's the last one. Don't keep this going. The one thing I didn't enjoy why bring CGI to
It's so
something
true. Yeah.
that's horror? I feel like they can do so many things, but they brought it again, just like the second one. But it's at this point, I see it. It's a good horror movie to start the spooky season.
But
for sure.
Yeah, in comparison to the horror movies that we've had this year, this is low on the totem pole, right? We've had Weapons and Bring Her Back, and
yeah, and there's more coming. So even if this was the first one to start it off, there's a lot more coming.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, with that being said, we need to know what you guys think about The Conjuring. Which was your favorite film that came out, or are you more of an Annabelle fan? Let us know in the comments. Well, with that being said, let's move into Twinless.
Yes.
Now, this debuted at Sundance. This was a movie that really shook audiences with its incredible premise. We have a twin that has just lost his other half, right? And he's going to these support groups, and he winds up finding somebody who's also lost a twin. And they start to develop a friendship in just bonding over the fact that they've lost someone. The twist that happens after that point, because I honestly don't want to say it.
You shouldn't.
And I don't think people should check out trailers for this either.
Yeah.
Because the twist and the premise that unfolds as the story becomes darker, twisted, but also weirdly relatable in some ways.
Yeah.
I had such a fun time. This is my pick for the week.
Okay, I had an issue with the twist when I first saw it because it kind of really put me off. I was like, oh, that got ugly. And then I thought about the movie more and more and more. I'm like, that was really nuanced. I really like that. It goes some really dark, interesting places. This is a violent movie. This is a funny movie. Dylan O'Brien puts an amazing performance here. And yeah, I would say absolutely see this one. It's more of an indie fare, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah.
When it comes to psychological thrillers, Leo, are there any that stand out to you as having really shocking premises with a surface level story that you don't really see coming?
For me, it was The Heretic.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, that one definitely messes with your head. Definitely puts you, like, kind of just on the edge of your seat. But this one, just hearing you guys talk, it makes me want to watch it.
Have you been to any of the Sundance films?
I have not yet.
Ooh, we got to get you in.
one more year.
We got one more year for you.
But I do think this will make Dylan O'Brien even a better caliber star, right? He really puts it out there.
Yeah. And it sounds exciting. Everything you guys are saying, I'm just like, I want to watch it now.
It's still an independent film, right?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of go in expecting that. It's based on dialogue mostly, but it goes some pretty interesting places.
Right, and it almost kind of reminds you of Dear Evan Hansen, where like there's a premise of something, but then a mistake happens, and you have to see the consequences of that follow through. I really hope that Sundance Leaving does not stop us getting these types of things, because you really want to go in a theater with somebody to watch these types of movies, and you will be leaving talking about it endlessly.
Yes.
My only critique with this is written, directed, and starring the same actor, and I think that can work in a lot of cases. I mean, Ben Affleck has proven that we can do that with Argo and The Town and all of that, but in this, I don't feel that he did enough of his character and his performance to really sell me on how he's feeling. It to me felt like there was a bit more of a distraction, and why wouldn't there be? You're making a movie, and then you've got to also act and then check the tape and see how that looks. So I don't want to give it a completely like negative opinion on it.
Sure.
But to me, I do think there probably might have been a better character actor out there that could.
Yeah, he should have probably cast that role for someone other than himself. I think he was a little watered down, right? There was so much for him to do that it was the weak link of the movie.
But when you're next to Dylan O'Brien and he's giving such,
bad.
And they're not just playing themselves; they have to play the twin version too.
Yeah.
So there's two different characters going at the same time. They don't necessarily are together. So you're not going to see like Sinners, where Michael B. Jordan is like handing a gun next to him, and it's the same person.
Right.
It's a story told through different chapters of their lives, but not ever interconnected. So for me, it's definitely a see it, and it's out in theaters right now. I think anybody could watch it.
Yeah, it's a see it.
I'm going right after this.
Sold it. All right. Well, in that case, we could go see Twinless, or we could go start a revolution, because Hamilton is celebrating its 10-year anniversary, and it's now in theaters, which is shocking. We didn't get that opportunity during the pandemic when it was first released completely. Leo, you've seen Hamilton.
Yes.
Did you see it during the pandemic, or was this something like you saw on stage?
No, I saw it when I got to Disney Plus. My girl used to watch it all the time. Well, she still does.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to finally see it on the big screen. I feel like it will get my full attention than just kind of watching it at home, hearing the songs, doing something. So I feel like this will catch my attention for sure.
It's so interesting that Jaws performed really well last week. I went and saw that one for its 50th anniversary. Made a ton of money. K-Pop Demon Hunters is a streaming movie. Made a ton of money. I don't think Hamilton is going to miss out on any of that money either, right? I think people will go see it. It's not a sing-along, per se.
Maybe for some people.
It's a sing-along for you? You're like, I don't even need the lyrics.
I just like push it away. I'm the one K-pop person in there that's just blaring
You're not going to throw away your shot then, huh?
I will not throw away my shot.
There we go.
I really feel like this is going to be like Taylor Swift movie. Everybody's gonna go and sing it and sing along because it has a love. Like everybody loves this movie.
Well, and it's been 10 years, so it's really interesting to look back on that time and realize just how revolutionary, no pun intended, it actually was. Lin-Manuel, he of course made it In the Heights, so we know his style of bringing rap influences into modern-day Broadway musicals, which we didn't have other than like Rent or things like that, where they could bring in some rock or something. What he did totally changed the game in every sense of the word. And not only that, but this story about this guy that through all of his faults, and he had many of them that they don't shy away from, still had this tenacity and had this drive to start this country and to make it a good union for people, whether or not he was great with his family or the people that were maybe competitive with him. The story about Aaron Burr is fascinating. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think he is one of the greatest musicians, composers of our time. I feel a little bad that Hamilton led to him having to do so many other Disney stuff.
Disney stuff was,
he got a little bit handcuffed to that, but
scuttlebutt.
But he's eventually going to come back out and give us something else like this, and history has its eyes on him. So hopefully he won't throw away his shot with that. But he didn't. This is incredible. I can't wait to see it on the big screen because I do think it's going to invite a lot of people who maybe didn't get a chance to see it or didn't really understand where it was located, a chance to see something that really the closest you could get is seeing a live version, right? So with that being said, it's a see it for me.
It's a see it.
It's a see it for me.
Yes. Well, I cannot wait.
Well, semi-positive, except for.
Well, I don't know. It was during a time where I was like, I'm trapping and hungry, and I'm not. You know what I mean? Where like that drive could really help you do a workout. Like it's very good music for workouts, and throwing in a little bit of Rage Against the Machine there. I could nerd out about Hamilton all day. Let's talk about streaming, though, because we have two streaming things to recap. First, Season 2, Part 2 of Wednesday is officially out. Season 2, Part 1 happened about a month ago. I was a little critical of that. I was excited for where we were going, but whenever you split up a season of television, I'm a little concerned what the drop-off rate is going to be for people that maybe weren't completely sold. I got to ask, were you sold on this?
I was finally sold. I was the same way. A month ago, I was like, this is fluff. Right, there were episodes where I'm like, I didn't need to watch that. Nothing really happened. It's granted you're back in a school and everyone has powers. I'm like, we saw this before. Can we advance the story? And the story felt samey to me. And so I was very critical. But then as soon as I started this one, I'm like, maybe that was necessary, all that fluff, to set up where these characters, and mostly villains, were going to go in the second half of the season. And I was won over by every single episode.
Yep, they were doing a lot more than what I was expecting them to do, especially with villains. Now, they do tie in Season 1 more than I thought they were going to, and that really happens in that back half. Do you think that they just did not have enough for that first half to really flesh out everything, or I don't know, does this style even work?
I don't think they had enough. I think they needed it to be 8 episodes, and even though they took 3 years between, like, what were you guys doing? But they could have spread out maybe this back half into a little bit more, because there's some side characters where you don't get to see much of them. Steve Buscemi, Billy Piper, I needed to see more fleshed out from their characters and where they went. That said, you get to see Enid a lot more in the second half of the season. And there's an episode where there's a role reversal of sorts, and it's great. So good focus, especially on the Addams family themselves. They didn't get a lot in Season 1, but in this season they're featured prominently.
I do have a question.
Yes.
You kind of mentioned it. Do you think it hurts the show when they take too long to make the second season?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Jenna Ortega still carries the show extremely well. I don't know if you agree. But you kind of wonder if she's going to get a little too old for this. Right?
Like kind of the Stranger Thing type of thing. That the characters are older and you kind of tell and you're like, but it's only been a year. And
they're meant to be 16 years old or something.
And Netflix has this problem where they do take a long time to get another season out. Squid Game 2 was kind of like, wow, we really missed the wave here. Like, Season 2 could have happened a little bit before. Same goes for Stranger Things. I am looking forward to that new season, but with Wednesday, I do think they actually pulled it off. Like what a fan would go into wanting to see of a continuation of that first season, they get.
Yes.
plus a little bit more. I do love how much they integrated the family, how Catherine Zeta-Jones' character really like stole the show from me in a lot of places. But overall, I do think if you never watched anything with Wednesday, you're not going to miss anything.
No. Yeah.
There's not an iconic dance, right? There's not something that really gets those trends going.
The memes really did sell season 1. There's not that, but there is Addams Family lore here that I was like, I kind of like that.
Okay.
And of course, I love when Tim Burton is like, can we throw like some claymation stop motion stuff in here?
I'm okay with this.
Just for funsies, and he was able to do that too. Do you see season 3 happening, and do you see it taking as long as this?
They've announced season 3, and they're saying 2027. So we're looking at 2 years.
Okay, well, that's what we all said with the Batman Part 2. Still waiting for that. Leo, are you going to be tuning in?
Yes, I'm excited to watch it. I haven't had the time to see season 2, but I like season 1, so this one definitely has my attention.
Netflix has started to bring out physical media for stuff. What do you think about that?
I'm excited because, again, the one thing, if they take it away that month, you have it at home, and if you want to see it, it's right there in your comfort of your own home. So.
Yeah, anything Mike Flanagan I would like to own physically.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do a lot with Criterion, too, Netflix, so that's also a great step up for them. So
Very cool. Well, it's a see for both of us, so it was worth it. You guys can go check out the other half
Finally.
and have fun.
Yes.
With that being said, we've got one more that I was shocked I actually ended up really liking because I love The Office. That was the show that I went to sleep to every night in high school. I would just throw on an episode, it would immediately put me out. I'd wake, I think I have like Winter Soldier, like memorizations of parts from The Office and moments and scenes, and it was such a big part of my life. When you find out that not only are they going to continue it, but they're going to bring some of the characters in
the same universe.
Even in the same time where they did the Dwight Schrute spinoff, and they had already tried this, and it didn't work. So there was a part of me that was really nervous of, this is just a cash grab. And if you're going to cash grab one of the best like mockumentary sitcoms ever created, you better have something good. And I think they have something good.
It's weird how the world has changed, right? The Office was a big success for Thursday night TV. Yeah. This is not on NBC. This is only streaming on Peacock.
Peacock, yep, right? 10 episodes.
Isn't that so strange? Where you're like, it's on TV and also on Peacock. It's like, this is a streaming-only show. Not that that works against it. It's just weird how 20 years ago, that was destination TV.
Yep.
And it was like, if you missed an episode, you missed the episode for the week. So this is interesting that you get all 10 episodes right away. You can binge watch it, and then that's it.
Is it too much at once? Watching?
No. Well, here's the thing. Okay. The Office season 1, you could argue, is vastly different from all of the other seasons.
Yeah.
Michael has a receding hairline in it. There are characters that just never show up again that have been in the background. So I have to give a little leeway. Whatever kinks need to be worked out for this first season, I am sure they're able to. And I think it's a stronger start than the first season of The Office.
Or even first season of Parks and Rec. I think that had to find its legs, and then you're like, oh my goodness, this is great, right?
You had the chance to watch the first 3 episodes, right?
Yeah, and the first episode hooked me right away, especially that intro song, especially how they showed like how newspapers being used nowadays. And it's just, I'm happy to see where it goes. And I feel like Oscar was the funny guy out of all the shows, like out of The Office, and now he's the standout for me. So I'm happy he's back.
Yep. And this isn't a story that's talking about paper anymore. We're not talking about sales and things like that, but it still has that side of it. In this story, we're focusing on a small Toledo newspaper that's been around for a long time, and journalism is dying.
Yes.
We have our main character that wants to try to start this up. Again, he wants to try to make journalism work for locals, for communities, so that they can know what's going on. And how does that work within a company that owns so many other things? There can be conflicts of interest. There can be lack of resources. There can be people saying you got to put in sales stuff. Things that, like, even me working here at the station, right? There's a lot of stuff watching this where I'm like, I think I might be triggered a little bit. Because this feels similar to like trying to make something out of nothing in a lot of ways.
Well, he's completely an aspirational character. He wants to bring journalism back to this town while missing it entirely at the same time. But he's working against forces that are like, hey, we're trying to cut costs, right? We use clickbait here, and we're fine with that. And he's like, what about a real story about the city?
Well, and like when he goes around and he asks people, anybody have experience with journalism? I tweeted. Like, you know, like they don't really have anything. And journalism itself has changed. We've evolved to bloggers that might have way more traction than like a regular outlet. We have we have sales versus substance, and like what's the ratio of those kind of things. They do explore those in very comedic ways. Some of my favorite, I think towards the end, episode 8 is probably my favorite. Tim Key, who friend of the show, because we've talked to him like twice this year, is also on this, playing kind of the Michael Scott role. I think he was perfect. We have 2 Michael Scotts in this. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
and they both work. I had such a blast.
Well, I mean, so what do you think about the ensemble so far, right? Because The Office obviously had some prominent lead players, but the ensemble made the whole show. Do you think what we have in this show is potential for an amazing series?
Well, it feels like Office-isms, right?
Yeah.
Where like these characters, they are familiar, kind of like when you get a Dr. Pepper and like a Mr. Pibb. And it's like, this feels like Stanley.
Like
this feels like this could be Stanley, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And maybe they are putting themselves in a corner themselves by that. And I've not been a fan when like those last 2 seasons of The Office, when the documentary crew became more self-aware. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I can forgive it a little. But what do you think, Leo? Do you think these characters have a good starting point?
Yeah, the first episode did a great job introducing every character, and then the second episode did also a great job putting them together, as in like partners. Like this person goes with this one, and they do funny parts on the show. So it's definitely something that I'm happy to see, that they all have their own personality and bring something new to the table. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm only on episode 3, so I'm excited to see all the other episodes probably tonight, because
it's easy to binge. It's about a half hour each.
Yeah, they're very short. They're not like an hour long, so it's definitely something easy to watch. Have it in the background if you enjoy it. So.
And you don't need to have seen The Office to actually enjoy this too.
Yeah.
I've only seen 2 seasons of The Office.
There you go. I really don't think, like, there will be a lot of, like, there's a little sayings or things that are like, okay, they're referencing this or they're talking about this. But what is going to make this show work is in how different it is. Parks and Rec was very different from The Office. And I think that's what ended up making it stand out. And towards the end, I would argue became a better series than The Office ended up being once Michael left. So for me, this is definitely a see it. I think that it's going to shock a lot of people that really were holding back on like, should I even jump into this? You can do it. It's okay. It's actually pretty good.
Unfold those arms, open up, and be like, you know, I kind of like it, right?
Yeah.
I will watch Domhnall Gleeson in anything. And I just hope that... Okay.
Rise of Skywalker?
Okay. In 90% of things.
Okay.
But I hope that Peacock and NBC will give them leeway to make a couple seasons just to really spread out and hit their potential.
Yeah, give them greenlight them for multiple seasons.
Yes.
I think that would be a great idea. Leo, what do you think?
I think it's different enough from The Office that can stand on its own. And I'm happy that it is different enough from The Office, because then you have your own show kind of thing, and you can do whatever you want instead of being like, oh, we need to reference The Office, we need to do this. So I like that part.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, hey, this was a great episode. I'm so glad we got to finally have you on, Leo.
Thank you for having me.
We're going over to his house, right?
Yeah,
Go check out the collection.
Yeah, and not leave with any.
Okay.
Tell the people, he's got 7 of some, you know?
Yeah, it's fine. It's like a Criterion closet over there.
There you go.
Leo, can you tell the people where they can find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Movies with Leo, or TikTok, Movies with Leo. I do have a YouTube. Don't post much on there, but it's also Movies with Leo. So.
Very cool. Thank you again. We can't wait to have you on next. Kent, where can the people find you?
ShowtimeShowdown.com for written reviews and the Bacon Cell podcast.
Thank you. And you were just on Friday Films,
Yeah,
See It or Skip It version or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really fun.
Make sure you check that out on Good Things Utah. That's on the website now. And of course, here's the QR code. You can scan that and go to all of our social media. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on News for Utah Plus. Get that on Fire TV, Apple TV, Roku. Thank you again so much for watching. Here's a sneak peek at what we're going to be talking about next week.
There's one winner. And no finish line.